I want us to look at some technicalities when you are doing referencing. There are instances that if I have, let's say, if I have, let's say, chapter one. So whatever that I have to, this is my sub, what is the topic? So it's going to start with 1.1. You see? And then let's say I have another subtopic down here that should be 1.2, then in that order. But there are instances where in some manuscript or in some thesis, they do not want you to write chapter as as just one. They want you to write it in word, like chapter one. So when you come here and you set up your referencing style, you are likely to come like this, 1.1, which is not accepted. So how do you make your referencing to appear here like chapter one, but when you come down to the sub-referencing, which will take effect, which is always linked to the chapter, then when you come here, it doesn't appear as one, but rather now appear as one, like this. Now, let me show you one example of what I'm talking about. So, check this. This is 1.4. Let me go all the way up to the introduction. And then you look at what I'm talking about. And then before I'll show you, so you see that it is chapter one. But when I come here, if I link the subsection to this, you see that it's going to be 1.1 instead of writing this particular one. If you understand how a thesis is structured, then you understand what I'm talking about here. This is a little bit of a challenge to so many students, how to be able to do it. Now, watch out. I'm going to show you how we actually set up these things to be able to work just the way I have explained. So I'm going to cancel everything as you see. And then I'm just removing everything we have here. This document I have here is just, it's not anything, please. So let me set up and say that I'm just going to reference some few things. So this one is going to be a reference. And so now, first of all, when you come to something like that, now we are going to click on our headers, right? And then come and click on multi-level list. Then we come and say we want to make sure that we assign our chapters to headers. And that's the first thing. So it will simply start at chapter one, right? Then I'm going to come again and now define a multi-level list. So my chapter one is here. So header one, level one. And then I can come again and say that's my chapter two, that's my heading two, and then it should come here to my level two. And then when I come to this point, I need to be able to identify or to say that, okay, I want level one, and then point followed by this, so that when it is chapter one, it will always start from 1.1. Then I am done with that, and I want the spacing to be space. That's the separation. If you've watched my previous video, I've already done something like this. Now we come again to our header 3. In our header 3, so I'm going to come to this point as usual. Come and click on include level. So I'm picking level 1. Then you bring your point. Come again, bring level 2, bring your point, and now come to click the number to add. We are going to add this number series, and then we are good to go. And then we come to the follow number with a space so that we can separate it. If everything here is ready, so we have header 1, header 2, and header 3, then in that order. As you can see, my 1 here, and then in that order, everything is ready. So I'll just click OK. And then, so Once it is okay, if I click on this, it's going to give me chapter 1. Now, when I come to the second one here, you notice if I click on header 2, it will give me 1.1. If I come to this point and I click on my header 2 again, it should give me 1.2. Then in that order. For the colors and everything is about modification. If you want to, you can modify. Then 0.3, and then in that order. And let's say that over here is header 3. So it will be, but now when we come, like I said, let me modify it a bit. Come and right click over here, and then come and say, okay, I want this to be Times New Roman, and I want the font size to be 14. I want it to be center, very tight, and the color should be automatic. And if I do that, click OK, and I think I needed to say that I want it to be applied. I want it to be updated automatically. So I'm going to click here again and come and click this point. So you see that the chapter is now in the middle. If I come here, modify it to that one to again, Times New Roman, font size 12, color automatic, and then maybe make it bold, and I want it, I think the chapters too, I should have made it bold, the chapter. So let me modify that again. Or just come and click here, bold, and click OK. Yeah, so now my header, this particular one, so I think that should also Times New Roman 12, color automatic. Then that one, should I make it bold? Okay, apply to this, and then in that order. So now you see, but you can have an instance where the supervisor says that I don't want the chapter number to be to be numeral. It should be written like chapter 1. It should be written as chapter 1. The 1 should be spelled. Now let me show you why the problem is. So I'm going to go back to this point whilst I'm here. Come to my multi-level lists. Come and say define a new level. I think that was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be here. Yep. So I come to this point, define multi-level lists. And then when I come to this point, you see where I am at 1. I'll come and click down here and go all the way. You will see 1, 2, 3. And then click OK. So you see that it's now chapter 1. It's now written chapter 1. And then you can come and see, you see that it is 1.1. Here, 1.2. Here, 1.3. But the 1 is written, and then the next one is numerals. This is also not accepted. This is where the issue is. Now, let's assume that, okay, if I come down here to this point, and I go to my chapter, it should give me chapter 2. Now, if I come to this point and I click on, you see that it is 2.1. This is not accepted. And the reason is because of the way, that's what I'm now coming to show you. Now, whilst you are, if you want to correct this, whilst you are on this, like this, come and click on your multi-level lists, come to define your multi-level list. And then whilst you are on this, then you come and click on 2. The 2, come over here. That's chapter 1. You see that it is spelled as 1 for, and now when you come to the next level, it is 1 spelled 0.1. That's what you are seeing, but we don't want it that way. So come all the way and come and look at this side. You will see something called legal style numbering. Click on legal style numbering and click OK. Every other thing I think is fine. Space and click OK. So you notice that the chapters will remain as chapter 1, but you notice it will be 1.1, 1.2. You see that here it is chapter 2, but it is now 2.1. Now, let's assume that I'm going to come down to this point and then say I am inserting, okay, let me just, as if I am inserting some new headers, subheaders. So here I am inserting chapter 3. So come to this point, you see that it will simply give you chapter 3. But now when I come to the subheaders and I go to subheader 2, it will be 3.1. It will no longer spell 3. This is how we set up our referencing, where we can have the chapter comes with letters. It is written like chapter 3. But when you are going to now take subsequently, it will not write here 3 as in spelling. It will write the number 3 and not the spelling of 3, and then in that order. So I could come here, and then that's my header 2. It will be 3.2, then in that order. I can come here, and then that will be my 3.3. If I go all the way and I said, okay, this point again from this, okay, let's say I'm coming down again, and I say, okay, this particular point, we are inserting a chapter, it will insert it at chapter 4. But any other subheader that is linked to the chapter, even a table whatsoever, it will rather pick the number, the figure, and not the spelling. So if I come down here, like where my cursor is blinking, if I put it, you see that it will be 4.1 instead of the spelling 4. This is how we actually set up our styling, and then we don't have a problem with mixing letters and whatsoever. I hope this is simple and understandable. Thank you.